concept of toxic masculinity?
There is no toxic masculinity. The problem is that there is a lack of masculinity. Fathers aren't around anymore, and most of the elementary schools have only female faculty. Therefore, boys are not developing by being reckless at a young age, which causes them to wreak havoc at an older age and develop psychological problems, allowing the karmic cycle to continue.
More single women are buying homes.
Yes.
Yahoo Finance. A report from Maxwell indicates that single women constitute 22% of mortgage applications in 2023, with 35% of these applications ages 25 to 34, and many earning less than $100,000 annually. The rise of single women in the housing market suggests a shift in demographic, with millennials and Gen Z showing interest in home ownership. Many women are willing to relocate for more affordable housing options, emphasizing their commitment to build an equity. Factors such as increased female participation in the labor force and a growing number of households led by women contribute to this trend. Each woman in long-term relationships are opting for solo home ownership, often because they earn more than their partners. By the way, more single women buying homes. It's not because more single women are buying homes. It's because there are more single women today than before, because marriage is not a hot commodity today. On the same a story that we have here at the bottom, you hear this other one says, childless future, birth rate plunging as millennials decide against being parents, right? So this isn't just because single women are buying homes. They're not wanting to get married. Those numbers are higher today. They don't want to have kids. It's higher today. Let me read this study to you. A study by the University of Southampton and the Generation of Gender program found that less than a fifth of millennials ages 26 to 35 are certain they want to become parents. The study reveals a correlation with declining birth rates, as only 19% of younger millennials expressed a definitive desire to have children, while 30% leaned towards probably wanting children. The desire of children among Generation Z, ages 18 to 24, is also declining compared to previous generations.
What's going on, everyone? Start Screen here today. We're going to talk about the negative effect of feminism on Western society. Now, as you saw from the intro, I showed you how the feminism negatively affected men by over-feminizing them to the point where you get these emotional men that are dangerous, right? Emotional men are dangerous men, right? This is why traditional men taught men how to control their emotions, how to not be defined by their emotions, right? They can feel their emotions, but they don't have to act out in their emotions like women do. Because I always asked you, this is the funny part. This is one of the negative effects about feminism, is that they push this idea that men need to be in touch with their feminine side. But if you look at stats, if you look at couples of the same sex, gay men are has less domestic violence than lesbian couples. Lesbian couples, right? That's the ultimate form of femininity, right? Women on women, right? But they show the highest degree of domestic violence. Why? So my argument is, if you actually make men more emotional, they'll be more valiant, because in the end of the day, they can't control their impulses. They'll act on how they feel. Have you ever made a woman mad? She'll hit you. First response, boom, hit. Now imagine a man has that same response, except they have 40% more muscle behind it. Here lies our problem. This is the society that feminism has created. They created a society where majority of women are now buying houses by themselves. And here's the funny part about it. And I believe feminism is setting up women for unhappiness and failure. I say these stats all the time. Liberal women are the most unhappiest women in America. Liberal women have worse mental health. They're less satisfied with their lives. All these women, liberal women, are the most likely to be feminists. And I believe they make up the majority of self-prescribed feminists today. Self-feminism. Here's how you set your women up for failure. There's stats out there that shows, and I remember I spoke about this for a while, so I don't remember the exact numbers, but I do know this: women are more prone to be evicted out of their house. Why? Women are more likely to spend money. Women are more likely to spend outside their means, and this is what sets them up for what? Higher eviction rates. So if a bunch of single women are buying homes by themselves, what am I trying to go? Where I'm going with this? They're going to be foreclosed a lot. They're going to put themselves in a financially detrimental position. And especially in 2024, being single is a luxury. And a lot of these women who are buying homes by themselves, they make less than six figures. And the stats out there that shows that 48% of people who are making six figures are living paycheck to paycheck. So what this shows me? It shows me that it only takes one catastrophe, one economic setback, And you're gonna have a lot of women who's sitting here praying to the government to come save them and bail them out. Feminism has essentially made women, instead of being dependent on a husband, dependent on a partner. They're sending up women to be dependent on the government. And stats showed this. When women fall on hard times, they want welfare. They want to get taken care of by the government. Women thinking in more terms of community. Right? We already see the stats. Gen Z women are more likely to be liberal. This is the effects of feminism. Right? And this is another thing that points to women's lack of financial literacy, even though they're the most educated group of people as of 2020, sorry guys. For every 100 males, there are 142 females. Who owns majority of the student loan debt? Women. Craziness, right? But they still complaining about the wage gap. Men respond. Men don't see a return on, and a lot of people see this and they say, "Oh my God, this is so bad for men." I think this is a good thing because men are able to pivot and change. Hey, college is not worth the bang for its buck. I'm going 6 figures into debt. I'm going 30K into debt, and this job is only paying me 50K a year. This doesn't make any sense. This is not sustainable long term. I'm not doing it. Let me find another path. College degrees are overrated. I have a terminal degree that was some value, but not worth the price of admission. My advice: if you aren't in STEM or independently wealthy, it's a waste of time. Learn a trade. This is the philosophy a lot of men are going. And women, women are always slow to adapt to new trends. They go with what's safe. They go with what's pushed on them. They do what society tells them to do. Go to college. Go to this. Put your career first, not a family. And the thing they got a degree in is not even giving them the outcome that they went there in the first place. Not understanding cost-benefit analysis. So what is going on, Kenny? A lack of masculinity that feminism has caused is destroying our society. Where are these women's fathers? Why are they permitted to go out in public dressed like prostitutes? This is Britain, right? And I'm pretty sure people seen it. Look at this. Look at this. This is like if a woman come up dressed like this and you thought she was a prostitute, she'll be offended. She'll be, "Oh, you're objectifying me." Or, "Who told you?" I didn't tell you to put those clothes on. You put the clothes on. You made those choices. There's a lack of accountability in our culture, and that's a masculine trait. Holding some other people accountable. And this is Zara. I don't know who this is, but she's a Muslim. And she's using this to criticize British culture. Assimilate and integrate into British culture. Dress inappropriately in public. Native Britons dress inappropriately in public. They can make the same critique for America, right? We see here, we get mad about immigrants not wanting to assimilate to American culture, but this is what we're portraying. This is how we're portraying ourselves. This is how our women portray themselves. Like, make it make sense. Feminism done this. This is feminism. Feminism calls that, modesty. Controlling modesty is controlling. Like, imagine that. Men wanting to put clothes on women is controlling women somehow. Make it make sense. I don't know. Check out this clip from Brett Cooper where she's reacting to Dignify, which is an AI bot that puts clothes on women like this who take pictures like this and makes them more in the traditional aesthetic. Let's take a look. And then you see the outrage that these women have over putting clothes on women. Imagine that.
Fandom Pulse, and they wrote, #DignifAI puts the pants back on women. Hoes mad about the AI sexual revolution. I love topics like this. It is so good. Hoes mad any day makes me happy. Okay, so they gave a little backstory in this article and said on January 31st, 2024, an anonymous user on 4chan's poll board called for a campaign to use an AI code, DignifAI, to edit pictures of provocatively dressed women online, ensuring that they are more clothed and adhere to a traditional ideal of women. This digital modesty initiative gained traction, and on February 2nd, 2024, the #DignifAI began trending on Twitter. Dun dun dun! Hoes are about to get mad.
Hoes mad!
Here is one of the original posts that sparked this whole trend. So obviously you can see this girl has a ton of tattoos. They cleaned her up. Basically just made her look a little more traditional. This one, it's less about the clothes. There's a lot of them where it's women's just like bare asses out on screen and they put like a whole outfit on. This one is just more about the tattoos. So this guy said, "With the power of AI, we will clothe the insta-thoughts. We will purify AI them of their tattoos. We will liberate them of their piercings. We will lengthen their skirts. We will piggyback off of the outrage around AI porn and commit unrelenting psychological warfare to our own ends. We will show them the lives that they will never have. We will force them to gaze upon the image of true beauty, reclaimed from their own corrupted visage. We will bring decency back into the world, one seething roasty at a time. I mean, Shakespeare? Like, is that you, Aristotle? Thomas Jefferson? Like, these words should be written in stone. So anyway, this really took off a few days after that when Jack Posobiec posted about the trend on Twitter. And within days, his tweet had 15 million impressions, and it seriously got people talking. He said 4chan has launched a new AI tool. Its purpose is to put clothes back on e-girls and remove tattoos. It is called Dignif AI. And he just posted a few examples you can see here, like there's a girl in lingerie, put her in a dress. A girl posing in a mirror, put on a dress. There's one wearing something that looks like a rope to a club. I don't know. Now, obviously, the chicks were pissed, aka
Hoes mad.
Now, I got all of these comments from one long thread where they had compiled all of these women that were seething about this thing. It was so funny. But honestly, guys, I think it really sheds a light on how modern women feel about a lot of men, which is not really funny. But anyway, let's get into it. One person said, I actually despise that I have to live on this earth with males. I want them all wiped out. Somebody else said, this is super weird and creepy. It betrays a deep contempt towards women being aware of their own sexual desirability. Modesty culture is often not so subtly about enforcing control over women's sexual autonomy, and therefore men getting to eroticize women against their will. How is a man taking a naked woman, basically naked, in her underwear, putting a dress on her, eroticizing her? She was eroticizing herself at the beginning. Like, you are genuinely angry that men online are not going to be looking at you like a piece of meat anymore. That's something that you are really concerned with. Like,
Exactly. Feminism's like, oh, we want men to look at us like a piece of meat. And then when we're like, nah, we're good. No, you should look at us. You should objectify us. Oh, it's so creepy that men want to control, like, as if men can't have preferences anymore. Hey, I don't want to look at, like, I talked about this already. I probably did this from my last video that I did for today. But I said that Gen Z, I think, and a lot of younger millennials like myself, I'm 27 years old, I can't watch sex scenes anymore. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm burnt out. It's like going on Instagram and I know, guys, I keep showing it, right? Maybe I show you guys something different because, you know, right? And this is not too bad, but it's still bad. Chest out, right? We see these on Instagram already. It's like we're blind to it now. It's like we're used to it already. Like, it doesn't do anything for us anymore, and we just see it as, it's just useless now. It's like, okay, what's the point? There's no mystery. There's no wonder. Why are you showing me these raunchy sex scenes on these movies? Just get to the story. I came to watch a movie. I see enough sexuality online. I don't need to see it in a movie. I think that's what's going on with Gen Z. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, guys. And then the next problem I want to point out with feminism is this resistance against masculinity, right? Like the ability for men to talk directly, to hold each other accountable and hold women accountable, because I believe accountability is a masculine trait. Because I already see with women don't like to hold each other accountable. They skate around, they talk very passively. Men talk very directly. Hey, women, this is bad. Feminism is destroying our culture. Feminism, here's the negative effects of feminism. Feminism had more negatives than positives with the movement. It brought some good things, but it brought a whole lot of long-term negatives. That's talking directly. Instead of, feminism could have been better. No, that's not how men talk. We need to, that's why my biggest message with this channel is tough love. I think we need to be tough now, because too long we have allowed self-esteem to be the guiding principles of our culture, and we see the results of it. Everyone's delusional, especially women. Sorry, that's the truth. Women, you're very delusional. You're fat and obese, but you want a man that's making six figures and he's fit. Make it make sense. And I do think it's the push that feminism did to demonize masculinity. Zuby, my favorite guy, the number of men who are spineless simps with no confidence is much higher than the number of who are abusive and controlling. Absence of masculine guidance fathers leads to both men and women not being able to tell the difference between assertive and abusive. This is a reply to a comment that said, too many men do not understand what masculinity means. They seem to think it means abusive and controlling. And before I move on, I want to show another clip highlighting the differences between like a masculine man and a feminine man, and see who you see is more of a threat to society, in my view anyway. Let's take a look.
True masculinity.
Say it?
True masculinity. It's made up. You're just full of shit. You're just an insecure little bitch.
True masculinity is
I don't care.
not a good thing. Well, I mean, it's obvious you don't care, but why don't you care? Are you feminine? Are you feminized? Are you a feminist?
Yes.
No?
I
Are you feminine? Are you a femme? Is that what you want? Are you a femme?
What?
No, I'm asking you.
I'm not answering you because you're a loser.
I'm asking you. Said that F masculinity. That's what you said.
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Because if this is masculinity, that
Wow.
What, intelligence, being able to talk to people by themselves instead of having to be around a crowd of people.
a loser.
A loser? Why am I losing?
Because you're homophobe.
It's funny because you try to act like and try to come off as an intellectual. All you have are slogans. All you have are rotes. All you know how to do is parrot certain things that you were told to parrot. You have
I'm
no
scared.
independent thought. You have no actual thing going up upstairs.
I'm the-
All you do is just repeat the same things over and over again because you have no original thought. Doesn't that concern you?
The soy represented in this young man is absolutely insane. See, what he doesn't understand is that it is a civilized society and laws that save him from getting stomped out from men like this. Calling him an insecure little bitch, you're absolutely insane, sir. You're not on the internet. He's not pixels and polygons. He's a real human being. I think feminized snowflake men like this feel as though they live in a simulation or a video game where nothing around them is real. Meanwhile, in reality, it's a dangerous job to disrespect a man to his face. The ironic thing is that his positive masculinity is one of the very few things that save you, because if he was toxic masculine, he would just bully you into submission. I bet you our forefathers could have never predicted that over-civilization of our world would produce these weak, unable to look real men in their eye type men going into the future.
Yeah, I'll say it's the male feminist looking guy. I believe he's more of a threat to society than the big, strong Mega Hulk. I think that's his name. The black guy that was interviewing him. Right? You see how he was, oh, you're insecure, this. He was calling him all kinds of names without any evidence of it. Right? He only felt strong because he was in numbers. Cowardice. And this is the moral cowardice that is going on in our culture. This is the results of feminism. This is what happens when you have feminine men. Feminine men cannot stand on morality. They don't want, everything's morally relative. Oh no, a woman can do anything she wants with her body. Moral relativism. Masculinity, moral objectivity. Hey, it's wrong to kill someone else, regardless of how it inconvenience you or convenience you. You cannot kill somebody without just cause, without them being a threat to your life. No. Let everyone do whatever they want. That's what feminine men allow. Chaos. Masculine men don't want feminist or masculine women. There are scores of undesirable women. There are not scores of desirable women, who can find a good man. What they offer and what they seek are misaligned. And Western society is so gynocentric, which is a society centered around women's values, principles, and interest, that the mere observation of often labeled misogyny. It's hard for young women to find masculine men. There's a real man shortage out there. Scores of undesirable women cannot find a dude who is capable of providing and leading a household. It's that bad. Here's a Lauren Chan. Wealth is only good as the people you have to spend it with. What good is a fortune if you don't have a family to share it? Because this girl, finance girly. The average cost to raise a child in the U.S. is $20,000 annually. Do you want kids? This is the problem with feminism, is that they put materialism, consumerism above your family. And this is the problem. This is the kind of culture that Western society has bred. And then you wonder why immigrants don't want to assimilate to U.S. culture. Our culture has to be better. This is the moral critique I have. How you want people to assimilate? You have to give them something that's better. And they're like, yo, this culture here is worse than the culture that I came from. I ain't assimilating this and none of this garbage, says every immigrant. Oh, I'm only coming to America because I want to take advantage of their economic opportunities. And we wonder why we have an assimilation problem. We wonder why immigrants can't come here and see the vision of the United States, because the citizens themselves have forgotten that tradition. This is why conservatism is necessary, because conservatives preserve that respect, that reverence for national tradition, for American history. If you ask a liberal about American history, they ain't gonna say nothing good about it. And this has been the plan of liberals for a long time, to denigrate and disrespect American culture, American history, so no one respects it, not even the citizens themselves. So there will be no one to defend American culture. And then we see the results of it today, and then the red pill's gonna say, oh yeah, marriage is dying. Yeah, of course marriage is dying. Look at the culture. You point out symptoms of a problem, instead of addressing the core issue, the culture. Okay, change something about the culture. Red pillars don't want to change it. But if conservatives say, hey, like we should try to go back to the values that made us successful in the first place. Oh, there's no way we can do that. It's unchangeable, Kenny. We can't change it. Time I call my girlfriends, and this is a personal story, they are flying somewhere. They constantly tell me YOLO. They are single, yet they tell me that they wish they had what I have. This is what my wife goes through too. She has a feminist friend of hers, best friends, right? But this is the same critique my wife says to her. Not says to her, but she's like, yo, how are you going to find a guy if you don't make time to find a guy? That's what my wife usually tells her feminist friend. Unable to see that her daily habits are better suited to stay single. We are seeing single, unhappy people in their 30s because no one wants to make sacrifices to their lifestyle. And I'll argue the older you get, the harder it is to make those sacrifices because it's a habit. You get used to doing it. It's the same critique I do with the red pillars. Oh, you get used to smashing 50 women and you expect yourself to settle down with just 4? No wonder you have to put this concept of, oh, yeah, you stay with me, but I can still cheat or I can still have other women on the side. Because you built up a habit. That's just my argument. Everything has a price. You make sacrifice for what you want in life. You cannot have it all. This is the problem. Feminism has put in women's head that they can have it all. So you get women who are in their 20s, 30s, have 3 kids, and still expect the peak man. When the peak man can essentially get any woman he wants. He can get a woman with no kids, a younger woman, a prettier woman. Feminists have inadvertently given all the leverage to the top percentages of men. And the top percentage of men are not incentivized to settle down. This is the culture. This is a cultural problem. And this is what conservatives are speaking out against. Hey, you women, feminism has inadvertently created an incentive structure where you have rewarded the bachelor, the internal bachelor of society. When in years past, in American history, American culture, the internal bachelor was almost shamed and incentivized not to do that stuff. And if he did do that stuff, he did it on the download. Now these people are openly cheaters. They openly advertise how much women they sleep with, how much women they have. And it's no longer stigmatized the same way it was in the past. Women always complain, prostitutes and hoes were stigmatized all throughout society. Sex workers are stigmatized all throughout society. Not looking at the fact that we stigmatize the Casanovas, the womanizers, the bachelors, the dude that never married. We stigmatize them the same way we stigmatize sex workers. It's just the women seem to complain about it more. And it seemed like all feminism did was, I want to give women only the positives, but none of the negatives of equality. Which is what? Privilege. Which is what? Special treatment. That's not equality. That's power. You just want power. I want all the good with none of the bad. That's what feminism's real aim was. It was to push women's rights, women's power, women's dominance, society anyway, culturally anyway, without any setbacks, without any negatives, without any cost, without any sacrifice. You only wanted the right to vote without having the consequence or the cost of going into the draft. That's the only reason women didn't want to vote, because they're like, oh, if we get the right to vote, then we have to go to war. There was a cost. And to make it easier, we said, no, we're not going to give you the cost. And then that set the negative incentive for feminism to run rampant to where it's at today, where women say, I can have it all without giving up nothing. And this is the current result of our society. Everyone's thinking this way. No one wants to sacrifice. No one believes in duty anymore. No one believes in honor anymore. Everything is what is best for me. Now, the red pill's a response to this, but it's an equal and opposite force. It's just the opposite force of what feminism was for women. We want equality, but secretly we just want to tilt the scale in our favor again. That's all it seems to be. And I think this fracturing of society, this divide and conquer, it leaves us acceptable to get taken over by other countries that are more unified. Now you see why Eastern societies, like in China, I believe, in China, they look down on feminists. They ban feminism, I think. They push masculinity. And conservatives are trying to do the same thing in our culture, and we get pushback from everybody. It makes no damn sense to me. But I digress. Maybe I'm just looking too much into it. Right? On your deathbed, you don't think about what you traveled, where you traveled. You think about who was by your side through the good times and the bad times. Right? And I I feel like millennial women is gonna have to be the lesson. They're gonna have to be the example for the future generation of women. Hey, you see the millennial women, you see how they're single, you see how they're poor, you see how they're begging government to take care of them in their old age because they can't work for themselves anymore. They can't provide for themselves anymore, and now they're on the government teat. You want to end up like that? No, daddy, I don't want to end up like that. Okay, you better not follow the same decisions they are. I think that's the realization that I'm coming to as a conservative. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What you guys think? Do you think feminism? Do you think along the lines with me with feminism? Do you think that it had some good, but it brought a lot of negative repercussions? Right? Do you think some women have hijacked the movement and made it about something that it wasn't originally? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I would like to hear it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.